Welcome back, guys. I think it's been 2 days since the last upload. I've got a lot more free time today, so it is about 10 o'clock, so most of the day is gone. But I'm not going to talk like an auctioneer and just rush through things. I've got a little bit more time now to actually sit and explain sort of where we were. I think on the last video where I left off, I was literally just about here um, when I'd placed that previous trade. What ended up happening, obviously, I said I was looking for the retest on this zone, and the retest didn't happen. Like I say, support is never a single line. It could be a zone. I mean, if you could take from there, you'd be like, oh, it's already cut through and going to a buy. If it was there, the best way to do a zone is take from the sort of the bottom, like the bottom sort of end to the sort of top end or whatever, and then sort of take an average of it. Just draw a little bit of a square, sort of like as you see here as zones and breaks, because price comes down like here, a couple of wick rejections, and then come straight back into it, and then come back through. You always want to wait when you do support. Is always wait till that candle closes. Okay, so sometimes you sort of know. For like example, when I said like on this break here, it come through, and by the time it was here, there's only about 2 minutes left until that candle closed. That's why I got into that trade, because the odds in that pushing all the way back up to here within that 2 minutes is very, very, very unlikely. And if it was, I'm not going to be lying. I'd be sweating a little bit because I'd be thinking, hang on a minute, maybe I got in here a little bit too early, and I should have just waited 2 minutes. I mean, what's 2 minutes to wait? But you always want to wait till the candle closes, which is why I don't intraday trade. I don't day trade. I don't really believe. I believe that probably if there was somewhere to look at statistics, you'd probably find that swing traders profit a lot more than, or have a lot better. What's the sort of word for it? A win percentage than day traders do. And the reason for that is, if you ever sit there and stare at a screen as this trade's going through, and you start seeing how each candle acts as it goes through, sometimes it can make you think that, oh no, it's going against me, and you leave it for a little while and it just shoots directly in your favor, or you close your position out, you went into a buy and it went against you, and you knew that you should have really stuck with how you were the first time. That's because potentially, if you are thinking that way, day trading is just not for you. It's just not. It's as simple as that, really. It's just not for you, and it probably won't be for you. You're probably better off with swing trading. I say trading isn't for everyone. I've got a couple of people now, even a couple of people from a couple of the videos I've been put up to now, um, that I'm sort of mentoring along the way, and uh, like I've said to them, trading isn't for everyone. Some people pick it up, some people don't. I've taught people in their 40s. I've taught people literally as soon as they've sort of left school and they've just hit the 18 range to where they can legally trade. You know, I'm not going to have their mum coming knocking on my like door or whatever saying, "Oh, you got my kid into this, blah blah blah." But some people can pick it up, some people can't. Age has absolutely no factor onto it. Intelligence has absolutely no factor onto it. You don't need to know maths. Them days are gone. Back on the old trading floor and that, like, yes, you would have probably had to use maths because it's all on the spot. Nowadays, I mean, there's calculators. You know, like you don't need to know maths really anymore, and especially with trading. I mean, like I showed you before, that pip profit calculator. You put in your price range from up here to down here, and it will tell you exactly how much that difference is. You don't need to do the maths about how much your pip value is. That's all just nonsense. And anyone that tells you in another video or anything else, or something you might have spoken to, that says, "Oh no, you do kind of need maths," is talking out their ass. And the reason they're talking out their ass is probably because they want to make them feel a little bit more intelligent. That what they're doing isn't simple. That not everyone can do it. But the truth is that everyone can do it. What everyone can't do is manage their emotions. That's what everyone can't do. But obviously, that's another topic for a video. There's something that obviously I'll be talking through to the people that I'm mentoring at the moment, and going further into depth with that. But sorry. But anyway, the trade was last here, and it come up, and I just left it. I got a second re-entry because, like I say, I have a lot of trust in my strategy, a lot of trust. So when this sort of happens now, and this come up, and I saw that one spinning doji, that's when I sort of got in with the next candle. I thought that's probably my best time to shine. Because that's probably where the buy, it's been a continuous buy up with no sellers coming into that power. So as soon as that spinning doji comes in, that's a shift in power. The buyers are no longer in control. That shows a bit of Jesus, it's getting late. I'm terrible with my words all of a sudden. It's showing a bit of confusion within the market. The buyers aren't really pushing it up any higher. The sellers aren't really pushing up any higher. I mean, the wick never even pushed above the previous wick of that buy purchase. So it was just a little bit like, okay, this is going to be my entry. I know it's not going to go above here. I have a lot of confidence that it's not going to go above there. So I took another entry right above here. And as you saw, it was only about 2, 3 hours later, we had a massive, massive sell off. I say massive, massive, but compared to what we've had in the last couple of days, this is pretty big. A lot of the time on this currency pair, you get a lot bigger, but this one was quite big in the recent than what we've had. So it dropped down. Believe it or not, on that trade that I took in from here down to the bottom of this spike where we're currently at is a 200% win on that growth on that one lot size. So say you had traded 1,000, you would have made £2,000 within a matter of hours. So you put £1,000 on here, you'd have had 2 grand as soon as it hit the bottom. Day traders then would have probably taken the money and then tried to buy it up. The issue is that nothing was saying. It's easy to look at it now and say, "Oh, that was pushing up," but nothing's to say that it would have. It could have easily sold back off. So that's why I tend to only get them at the highest points. I mean, I could have got in here, I could have got in here, but just the issue is I don't want to risk it. If I up here is fine, I'm closer to my stop loss. If I start getting up here and here, say it comes up to this point to test it, even though I've got this equity sat in here, these two start to go negative as well. So I haven't got 2 trades going against me, I've got 4. And that's how you end up starting losing margin and your money starts to run out quickly. But that's basically where we're at. We had that big sell off. We come back up, and this is what I would class as sort of an EMA test. This might come back up for a second EMA test. It might even come up to test these high highs and this lower support that we've got going on. I also said to someone that was asking about it, about basically, let's put this into, I don't know, pink, about support and resistance. Is it a line or do you, because they see me refer to zones, not lines. The reason for that is say you put the support zone here, the support line. You went off the line because, like most people that you ever talk to, or you ever do any YouTube videos or anything you see on Instagram, where they're not trying to sell your courses or signals and actually know what the fuck they're going on about, is you see a support line. Right. The issue with this is you would have seen this come up and you would have gone, oh, it's retested, and I'm going to buy up, and all of a sudden it starts dropping out against you. The reason for this is it's zones. Okay. So if you were to think about it this way, and you ended up going from the bottom of it, and you thought, all right, then I know this is going to come up, and I see this last little bit, and I also see a little bit, it's like a bit of a consolidation phase. I'm just going to capture that, right? So what this is now is I'm not going to pay any attention to this support. Let's change that color. Should put it to grey. So I'm not going to pay any attention to this resistance zone until it comes into it. Okay, when it comes into it, if a candle breaks above, that's when I'll really be looking and try to reanalyze my market to see where I'm stood at. If it does what it did here and you sort of see this consolidation again and it drops back out, I know this is safe. I also know this is probably a good end line. Okay, so it's come into the box, it's now dropped out. As you saw here, come back up and it tested the lower part of that support, which is why I say this is support zones. You should never, zones can be big, like this is quite a big zone, but it's only to be, you'll never get lines, they never exist. Support lines never exist. Okay, so a fair show, for example, is this one. Obviously, as you can see here, if I just get rid of this, don't really like getting rid of these things because I like to relay to them. If you went off of here and you went, oh, well, that's a pretty good support, you can see it there. And we're just going to run that across. Okay, so that's a pretty good support. Here it never touched. So if you're looking for your perfect entry, you wouldn't have got it because you would have, as these markers right now, it looks like there's an obvious buy, but you wouldn't have taken them because you're waiting for it to hit here. Because everyone thinks of them as lines. And when it come in and cut in here and it come back up and start falling off, you would have got into the sell prematurely. And then would have eventually gone against you. And you should think, well, I don't understand why this is happening. Now, if you were to have taken from that top line, took it down to the next lower, just look around on your chart just to see sort of, so if I go here, what else is popping in? Okay, so we don't know this part exists. So all we see now is, okay, so we got a little bit of a tap here. Oh, and it taps along there and here. So that's probably the bottom end of that support. So what taps across the top? So we got one here, nothing else really. Nothing else is really tapped across that top end. So you could then take that and drop it down there. Okay, as your actual support. This is now your support beam. So this would be your zones though. You've still got a zone because that's your zone because it might not come down into there. Sellers might come in faster and just tap this top line and come back up. You don't know which one's going to be for certain. But as you saw, it come down onto the stronger and then bounced up. So that's sort of how I look to see support and resistance. Also coming through with trend lines. A lot of people think the trend lines have to be spat bang. Okay, so they have to look like that. Because you got one, you got a wick rejection, you actually got candlesticks forming and then it drops off. But you see that these two don't touch. The reason for that is it's not actually the case. What that is that you've got a retouch. That's the actual first tap. It come down, and this was an actual break. This was a trend break already. And what it did is it rode off the top end. So this is called the retest. And what it's actually looking to do is see if the buyers can get enough push now to push it higher, to get that bounce up higher. If not, it would have fallen and come down to here, and then I would continue to break through or push back up into a new direction. So what happened is it tested it, and at that, as soon as it got that sell back through and it got to about here, that's when that market really knew then, okay, we're not going to the above. That's why you saw that big sell off. And then you come back, you had the retest around the EMA as well. So we should probably see this come up to a little bit, maybe here. It might come up to here. We don't know yet before falling off. But I'm hoping, and I'm pretty certain I'll probably wake up tomorrow and price will be around this sort of range um, down here. Like I say, I've said before, I don't really like to, you know, to estimate with these sort of things because I just don't like it. It always makes you look like an idiot when it doesn't go right, and it looks like you don't know what you're talking about when in fact you do. It's just that guessing the future is a lot harder than just drawing a little squiggle on a chart. If it was that easy, we'd all be millionaires. But that's exactly what I'm expecting. But it's really just an update just to keep anyone going and just really just talk about a few things, like I said originally, of about trading and support and resistance zones. That was something that someone had emailed me and I spoke to earlier on WhatsApp, and they obviously not sure if they're going to go through with the coaching side of things, which is completely fine. I mean, you do it if you want to do it, if you feel like you need that extra help. If you don't, then just stick to the YouTube videos. It's really not that hard. I mean, you got baby pips and things like that. They teach you just as well as anyone can. The difference is with me is you're not going to get the flashy cars. You're not going to get the oh, look how much I'm making and blah blah. And you're going to get a normal person telling you exactly how to trade, someone that is profitable in the market and knows what they're talking about when it comes down to market, if you want to believe that. And is someone that's just going to teach you really how to trade, coach you along that bit, put any doubts up there inside your mind, any beginner mistakes that you think might happen. You can then message me and I'll just sort of give you my insight onto what's going on. I could be wrong, but if that's what you're after, then that's obviously what I can supply. And a lot of people do seem to like that. But then when it comes down to obviously other bits and bobs, say you don't have the money, you don't really see the point in spending money for someone to teach you what they're already doing on here. It's also not a problem. You can carry on keeping up with these. Also, to the people that I have that are, if you're watching these videos now, um, that are in my chats and things and on my text messages that I'm now coaching, vice versa. I don't have to sell this for the friends and families that I've had on before and the ones that I currently do have on because obviously I see them day to day. I'll just drive around or whatever. Um, but I can send videos through. So this is what I was saying about analysis breakdowns. If you want to ask me a question, I can send you a video through. I'll just put you on WhatsApp or whatever, and I can send the video through there, vice versa, and I can answer questions one on one there and then. You don't have to then have any struggles with it or any questions to go ahead. But yeah, this is sort of what we're aiming towards for now. This price probably will come down to that lower end. It might not. It might shoot back up. But currently, I'm thinking it'll probably come down to that lower end. But as I say, you've got the trade in there, you're about 150% up right now. Got the trade in there, you're about 200% up on that. So overall, you're about 300% up on both trades. So and it's been, 2 days. You don't have to go for the big boy charts. There's all these GBP USD and all the market manipulation involved. And like I say, if 90% of traders fail, why are you following the 90%? This is why I choose to trade exotic currency pairs, the lowest end traded by the retail traded pairs, because the big banks ain't interested in that. They're just going to leave that currency to act as it naturally should. With the amount of people that are now onto Forex and the amount of people selling, courses and signals and all this shit. It makes a very good open an opportunity for experienced traders with a lot of capital, and also makes a lot of money for experienced banks to get their investments up, to get that money into the wallet and then into the door. And start capitalizing on people that think they know what they're up to. Like I say, there are people out there that do know what they're up to. For me, it's just hard to believe so because the same people that say they know what they're up to, they're using £1,000 lot sizes and they're making a couple of £100. All they show is their flashy cars and the lifestyle, sort of rubbing it in your face, sort of make you want to be like them. And then all of a sudden you go, oh, how do I do it? And then they slap you with the, I'll buy this, buy that off me, and it just gets a little bit tedious. I'd just like to put these videos out there just so the people that are watching, the very handful of you or the 10, 20, 30 of you, you're getting what I would like to think is quality and honest, person to person. I'm not trying to sell you nothing. Like I say, I earn enough money on this, so I'm not interested. Um, but that's really all there is for this video. I'll probably do an update on Friday. I mean, what day is it? It's Wednesday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's my sister's birthday on Sunday, so I might be out for the weekend. We could take her somewhere, do whatever. But we'll sort of see how it plans out. Might put one on Friday. I might put one on Sunday. Not too sure yet. Um, but that's really all there is to say. I just wanted to go over a few things. Just say thank you to anyone that is left any comments or has been watching the videos. it's nice to actually feel like, people are actually liking the true side of forex and not this bullshit flashy side of things. That's all I really wanted to do is just give you an update of where we're at, go over a couple of little bits and bobs that I've been asked via emails or comments or whatever, and really just give you a bit more of an insight into how I do it. Like I say, this whole trade, I'm just going to sort of break down, keep on going, and then after that, I'll just sort of do my entry and just like a couple of little bits and bobs if I get asked it, because obviously, we'll just see how I feel. See how I feel as I go on. But this trade, I'll be following the whole way through to show people how I trade and how you can trade just like it. Like I say, I net a good amount of money. I can't moan, but it's all self-taught, and it's a way that you aren't going to find on Google. You will not find the way that I trade on Google. Trust me, I've looked. When I first stumbled across how I trade, I thought, this is too obvious. People must have found this before, surely. And I googled and googled and googled and googled because I thought it's too easy. It must be wrong. I must find a Reddit forum somewhere where someone's telling me, no, 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 trust me, that's a load of bullshit. And I couldn't find one. Not one single video, not one single thread, not one single page talking about how I trade. So, like I say, this has come from someone that's made their own strategy. And if you're interested in helping you potentially make your own, I'll give you tips onto how I made mine, then just pop me a message on an email, starbtelford@gmail.com, or when you message or put a comment in there, I'll send you my email over, I'll send you my number over, we can start texting, and we can go from there. So a bit more one-on-one. But that's all really. So have a good night, and I'll probably see you on the weekend at some point for another future video. Cheers, guys.